we need to now talk about is that area that I talked about earlier. So here we go. Here's Bowman's capsule again. It goes through this structure, this wig, a lot of turns. This is the proximal convoluted tubule, thick segment of the descending limb, thin segment of the descending limb, the loop of Henle, thin segment of the ascending limb, thick segment of the ascending limb. It now goes into the distal convoluted tubule here. This area where it comes very close to the Bowman's capsule is called the macula densa. Here's your distal convoluted tubule entering into your collecting duct. So that is the trace of through the nephron and becoming urine. We're going to expand this area right here, the macula densa. Here is the Bowman's capsule. This green structure represents your distal convoluted tubule. However, the area closest, this little structure, let's see, the macula densa will be tagged right here. Here's another model. Here's your Bowman's capsule. You see that little structure right here? That would be considered the macula densa. That's where the distal convoluted tubule comes very close to the Bowman's capsule. So if he tags this structure, tag that as the macula densa. However, on this model, you'll see this green thing, which is the distal convoluted tubule. The macula densa is this area, this part of the distal convoluted tubule coming close to the Bowman's capsule. However, if he tags this row of cells right here, this row of cells is that structure of the macula densa that we call the juxtaglomerular apparatus. So if he tags that row, that's your juxtaglomerular apparatus. You can see there's kind of some simple columnar epithelial tissue right there. These cells form what is called the JGA, the juxtaglomerular apparatus. These cells produce a hormone that is called renin, R-E-N-I-N. You need to write that down or make sure you learn that. The purpose of renin, of that hormone, is to produce concentrated urine, and the function of that is to control your blood pressure. So please know those key areas. So these cells of the juxtaglomerular apparatus produce a hormone called renin. The function of renin is to produce concentrated urine, which helps control or regulate your blood pressure. All right. A few more things that you need to know. As you can see, here's a nephron right here, going kind of shallow into the pyramid. However, you see this nephron right here is a lot larger. So these are two different types of nephrons. They form two different types of urine. This nephron right here, the shorter one, is called a cortical nephron. It's a cortical nephron. This one right here, this large one, is called a juxtamedullary nephron. Don't get that confused with juxtaglomerular. This is a juxtamedullary nephron. The purpose of these ones, the cortical nephrons, produce a light-colored urine. These ones produce a dark-colored urine. If you're drinking healthy, your urine is what color? Light or dark?
Light.
It's going to be light. That means you're using a lot of these guys right here. You're using your cortical nephrons. If you get older as adults, or if you see people with renal failure, or geriatric people, what color is their urine usually? Super dark, almost brown. That's because they probably have blown out, or these cortical nephrons are no longer working, or they're dehydrated, so they're filtering out and using these guys here. They're using their juxtamedullary nephrons, so that shows that they have poor kidney health, and that's why their urine is usually darker. So, now, there's a capillary and venous network that's responsible for draining out this cortical nephron and draining out the juxtamedullary nephron. So you see these structures right up here? These capillaries and veins are called your paratubular capillaries. Just make sure I say that right. Paratubular capillary bed. That's this structure here. They're draining out this particular nephron here. You'll see this one a lot deeper. Here's your arteries and veins. It has a number 12 next to it. That is called the vasa recta. The vasa recta are responsible for draining out the juxtamedullary nephron here.
Responsible for draining out the
Juxtamedullary nephron, as you see on the list here. And that is everything you need to know about the urinary system on that. So.